In Archuleta County, 8.2% of families and 11.6% of residents fell below the poverty line in 2017. The coalition was established to understand the food system with the aim of advancing food equity in our community. The coalition uses a participatory approach to its work. This means that the community members, participants, working groups, and partner agencies are actively engaged in identifying and reviewing strategies that drive the direction of activities.
With the recent Colorado stay-at-home order, the coalition was tasked with creating an emergency feeding plan for Archuleta County in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, and it began coordinating emergency food relief in our community. So through the work of the Food Coalition, our community now has $20,000 to spend on projects that address COVID-19 relief and any aspect of our local food system. The coalition recognizes all the good and hard work of our farmers, ranchers, backyard growers, food pantry operators, and volunteer restaurants, and food processors that help our community. The coalition not only wants these funds to support the local food system, it believes that the local community should make decisions about where to spend this money.
How would you spend $20,000 to support our local food system?
We have $20,000 to spend on projects that address COVID relief. Not all the projects have to be $20,000. In fact, some projects could be $1,000. Others could be $5,000 or $10,000. So let's take a minute, and for the next few minutes, let's think about it together. What do we do with the money?
What can $20,000 do for a local food system? There are 6 parts of the system. The first part, growing and producing food. Second part is transforming foods for storage and market. Third part is marketing and distributing food. Fourth part is getting and preparing food. The fifth part is eating nutritious foods. And last but not least, food waste prevention and resource recovery.
Here in Archuleta County, we are working together so we can learn about our food system so everyone has access to wholesome food and no one feels food insecure. Let's look at each part of the system again. Growing and producing food. This is where our community grows and produces food in places such as backyards, domes, community gardens, ranches, farms, and hoop houses. The second part of the food system is transforming foods for storage and market. This is where food is preserved and or processed. Transforming food for storage and market requires following food safety standards and strategies that protect the health of the public. The third part was marketing and distributing food. Some food marketing is for local and regional foods, and some is created for large international corporations and delivered to all parts of the globe. In Pagosa, the farmers market is an example of a way for farmers to use collective marketing to sell their goods. Food distribution is how your food gets from the farmer to your plate. Food that is produced locally has a much shorter journey than food that is produced across the country or even across the world. Getting and preparing food. The fourth step. Most of us are primarily interact with our food system by getting, preparing, and eating food. We all are familiar with eating nutritious foods. Eating nutritious foods is important for our health and well-being. Being aware of what it takes to eat healthy and to be able to access and utilize nutritious foods can be helpful in promoting and sustaining an overall healthy diet. And finally, food waste prevention and resources. Food waste happens at all stages of the food system. For extra food growing in a farmer's field that doesn't make it to the market to the food we throw away at home, and cooking dinner. When looking at all food waste across all parts of the food system, almost 40% of food waste is wasted at some point in the process. That's a lot. And a lot of the waste happens at home, where people end up not using all of the food they purchase or bring home. We can work on food waste prevention and resource recovery.
Let's think of some concrete examples that would apply to Archuleta County. A grow project might be to pay someone to help in the geodomes this winter to grow fruits and vegetables for the community. A transform project may be converting apples that we've picked in the fall, dehydrating them, and making them available to families this holiday season. For distribution, how about hiring drivers to deliver food for the food pantries? In preparation, there's a local organization that wants to offer cooking classes to members of the community. And for an eating project, perhaps we can supply much-needed meat to elderly in our community by donating or giving gift cards to them this holiday season.
We're now going to generate ideas together. We're going to look at each section of the food system, and while we're there, take a minute, pause, talk about what you think, and go to the next one. Let's start with growing. Transforming. Think about distributing. Preparing. Eating. And finally, food waste. So now you've generated ideas for the food system. Make sure we've captured them somewhere. And let's talk about the larger participatory budgeting process.
The process we're using to determine how to spend this $20,000 is called participatory budgeting. It has 4 phases: idea collection, proposal development, presentations and voting, and implementation. Today you are participating in the first phase, idea collection. The ideas collected today will be seeds of proposals developed and then voted on later.
Voting will take place in November, and everyone will be given an opportunity to hear the presentations that were developed by community members and organizations, and they'll participate in voting to decide which of the projects should be spending the $20,000.
The last phase, implementation, is where rubber meets the road. It's where all of the winning proposals will actually be carried out. We will then have those people report back to the community on how their projects went.
So today, we're really just interested in all the ideas, and we'd like to collect them from you and find out which of you are interested in taking those ideas and turning them into proposals. Thanks for your participation, and we're looking forward to hearing all the ideas of how we can turn this food system, our local food system, into a healthier and more sustainable one for all the members of our county.